Hello. Hello. Welcome. It's me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. We are going to talk about the vibe in the sky for the collective for this week. I am going to do the dates of November 28th to December 4th. We're going to discuss some major things that are happening this week. We have Venus entering Scorpio later on this week, and we have Mercury entering Capricorn. So if you want to know about these things, and we have the transits throughout the week. So if you want to know about these things, then you are at the right place. So let's talk about what we have currently in the sky as I fix my self here. There we go. Now, Mars and the sun is currently in a sign Sagittarius, and it's about the sun. Well, whatever the sun is going to illuminate. Okay. It's going to brighten, bring out the darkness, show the light to the qualities. So, Sagittarius energy, all of that is going to be highlighted during Sagittarius season. Now, what are the themes for Sagittarius? I did talk about, well, first of all, I want to say I'm going to have a everything Sagittarius video. Did I do that already? I think I definitely did Scorpio. So Sagittarius is coming up. We have adventurous spirit, optimism and positivity, energetic, motivative, overcommitted, very social, very external energy, very positive, really into philosophy and philosophical insights. Very courageous, like all fire signs. There's boldness. There's a huge thing on travel, worldly things. So if you are in a different country, you might be focused on more things that are not dealing with parts of your country that you're currently living in. And there's inspiration for travel, impulsiveness, restlessness, overconfident. There could be some clashes of authority because Sagittarius energy loves freedom, hence the travel. Also, Sagittarius is about big, big, big picture and abundance and luck. And also, we have lack of attention because they are so about the bigger picture. The details may not happen. And restraint is needed because when you have Mars in a sign of Sagittarius, and Mars is about our energy, while the sun is about our energy as well, but more, and Mars is about our drive, but the sun is like our identity. It's our boss, right? And when you have that Mars in Sagittarius, it's just doing so much. So you need to calm down with your energy because you feel like you can do it all and take over the world. So it's very positive at the same time. Slow it down. Okay. Now, Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus, they're all retrograding. Retrogrades are associated with slowing down, right? And the further the planets are, the more you think that it doesn't affect you. I find that it does, especially the collective, but the collective more internally. Now, when we get into Mercury retrograding, Venus retrograding, you feel it a lot more because the planets are closer to us, right? However, with the bigger planets, you still feel it. So Neptune in retrograde, and it's about introspection. It's always about internal when you have retrogrades, okay? So you practice patience and flexibility. Okay, so when you have Neptune retrograding in the sign Pisces, which is just a double hitter of meaning the same thing because Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, then you have the themes of dreams, spirituality, illusions, and your intuition. Also, things you can't see. It can also represent addiction, sleeping endings, drugs. Okay, some people would say crazy people. Asylums. Okay, so Neptune retrograde encourages a deep introspection of your dreams, spirituality, beliefs, and illusions. It's a time for exploring the authenticity of spirituality path and to be aware of any self-deception because you do have a cloudiness with Pisces, and the retrograde wants you to take it in internally, like what is deceiving you with that cloudiness. Okay. And I do have a full episode on my podcast explaining Neptune in Pisces. Now, let's talk about Jupiter retrograding in Taurus, because we have that currently. And Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, which we were talking about Sagittarius earlier. And Jupiter is about expansion, growth, abundance. It's also about our beliefs, because remember I was saying our philosophical beliefs. And Jupiter retrograde prompts a review on our personal beliefs, our personal philosophies. It's a period to reconsider our goals, our values, in a way in which we seek personal and spiritual growth, because there is a religious aspect with Jupiter. Jupiter also represents world travel law. That's what I was thinking. Law. So be aware of that. There could be some things that we feel like with the law internally is not working for us or needs to be reflected. What is it? Rethought. Okay. Rethinking. I don't know if that's the word I was thinking about, but okay. Uranus is retrograding in the sign Taurus. Now, the sign Taurus, Jupiter is in the sign Taurus. This is our resources. This is things that we value. And that could also represents bank and money and food. And Uranus is all about innovation, change, rebellion, and individuality. Uranus retrograde encourages us to review your need for independence in a way you express yourself in a unique way, because Uranus is, remember, the individual. It's a time to revisit changes that could be considering you want to be very authentic to yourself and what you value. And Jupiter is also really thinking about internally your values and, money. I was just trying to say another word for money. It's just money. Okay. How are you spending? Are you spending too much? Is it in your head that you're spending too much? What about the prices? That could be a retrograde too. The fact that there's deceitfulness in the prices. I was looking at that the other day. A reel is going around where Target is saying Black Friday sale, but when you move it, it's just a regular price. And that is the Neptune in Pisces mixed with that Jupiter in Taurus, right? Because it is about what we value and the money that we spend. And then there's deception, and I mean, I think they were flat screen TV. So that's more Venus, but some people that may be a value TV to a lot of people. Okay. So, but prices and money and the cost of living is really more what I was thinking about, and the deception of the cost of living. Okay. I'm trying to put my foot for those of you guys who are watching, because I do put this on my podcast now, the weekly report. I am trying to fit my feet under this table. Anyway, so let's go into the moon report. And again, I keep saying I'm going to do a sound effect. Do-do-doom, doom, doom, moon report. I'm going to make a sound effect. I just need to do it. And okay, so November 28th, we have the moon in Gemini. November 29th, we have moon in Cancer. December 2nd, we have a moon in Leo. December 4th, which is my mom's birthday, we have a moon in Scorpio. Now, I just want to tell you why I do a moon report. I do a moon report because the moon moves really fast. Hence, it is the ruler of Cancer. Hence why we are moody Cancers. I'm a Cancer sun. And emotions are always up and down because that moon is constantly moving and changing signs. As you can see, it changes signs a lot versus Jupiter changes every year. Okay. So let me, instead of going over the aspects of the moon, because that I would be here all day, I just tell you the good and bad of the moon. Okay. So the 28th, the moon in Gemini, and we just had a full moon in Gemini. And let me just tell you personally, my experience from the full moon in Gemini, and I am Sagittarius rising. And a lot of people don't like saying this. And it's so bizarre that I'm kind of open with my astrology and the fact that I'm a Scorpio moon, but I'm okay with it. I guess it's the honesty part, the Sagittarius rising in me that's really open to my chart. Anyway, so what I was going to say is that, the full moon for me was in my 7th house of relationships and aesthetics. Okay. And here I am driving in my community and going to a place that I've never been. I won't go into details of it, but I was buying aesthetics. I really didn't like the environment. And I said I would never shop there again because I didn't feel comfortable. At the same time, I'm buying aesthetics and there was nothing there, and that's annoying. And then we're dealing with a transaction So there was things that are very Gemini, but the part that I want to say was that full moon, because the women are the moon and the men are the sun, masculine, feminine. Whatever you call yourself, that's up to you, but I'm just explaining the words for you. And the sun being masculine is my husband. And we had an argument while driving with all these beautiful aesthetics for Christmas in my car. So it's very, the Libra energy in the seventh house and Gemini driving. And I got into an argument with him because I felt like he was about to get us in a car accident. And it just made me think, oh my gosh, this is a full moon in Gemini. Of course, he didn't agree. And of course, we had a conflict on it. But I realized I had to let go and release. Okay. Let go, release, and let God. And then it was fine. The rest of the night went perfectly fine. Okay. So, anyway, back to the moon in Gemini. The themes with the moon in Gemini are communication, curiosity, and socializing. Mostly all the air signs are socializing. Okay. Not mostly. The air signs are always about socializing. It's a good time for intellectual pursuits and connecting with others through conversation. Really communicate your emotions would be best. Okay. Or maybe try not to say too much emotionally. Now, the 29th, we have the moon in Cancer. Cancer is very emotional, but it's at home here. And there's emotions, there's home, there's nurturing, there's mom, where you feel safe, and legacy can all be a theme with your emotions. It's a time when your emotions may run deep, and you want to be at home and comfortable. I find that and I am a Cancer sun, whenever there is a moon in Cancer, I all of a sudden want to stay home. I don't want to leave. So you have that. And also a sense of security emotionally. Now, December 2nd, we have a moon in Leo. And the themes of Leo is creativity, self-expression, confidence, and fertility. And it's a favorable time for activities that bring joy, allow you to express your unique personality, be on the stage. Try not to focus on me, 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 me. Leo could be, it's fiery, okay? So emotionally, watch out with the conflicts emotionally, and you'll be fine. I find that Leo energy likes to argue and debate. It's okay to do it because, nothing's wrong with a healthy debate. At the same time, coming from Leo and Mercury. But at the same time, you want to find balance, not speak over people, and really take people in, because Leo could be a little bit about the self and not about the collective, which is, it's fine for a day or two, but just don't go to the extreme, is what I'm saying. Okay, everything out of love with positive intentions. Now, the December 4th, we have a moon in Scorpio. Themes of anytime there's a moon in Scorpio, emotions are very intense. Okay. Transformation, there's some deepness, nothing superficial. The moon in Scorpio intensifies emotions, encourages depth of thought, and supports transformative experiences. You may really be into the psyche or things that are very taboo emotionally. You could also be emotionally driven to be intimate. It's a time for delving into profound insights and exploring hidden aspects. And you could be trying to tap in with that third eye into the deep, deep, deepness of going beyond the surface level. Try not to control people, because Scorpio has a very powerful power element to it where it wants to control. And emotionally, try not to control people. Okay. So let's talk about the current transits. That was our moon. Also, let me know if you enjoy having me put this on a podcast. I used to just put this on YouTube, but I said, why not have this on a podcast? Also, I do a brief summary of it on Instagram, very brief. Okay. My Scorpio moon can't stand it. And my Mars in Gemini wants to give more details, but everyone has a short attention span. So you do have like a little blip of it on Instagram. And I have a newsletter where I give it very simple terms in a newsletter. Okay. So just click the link in the bio if you want to follow me on the gram. And at the same time, if you want to join my newsletter. Now, let me just say that the newsletter helps me out, because in case anyone wants to take over and control who I communicate to, I won't lose you if I have your emails. So there's that. So if you would help me out and do click on and get my newsletter, then I will forever have you, okay, with communication. So there's that. Now, here are the current transits, November 28th to December 4th. Now, the 29th, and the day that I am filming this live is the 27th. So the 29th, we have Venus is going to be opposing the North Node, and Venus is going to conjunct the South Node because the South and North Node are opposite of each other. And December 1st, we have Mercury entering Capricorn. December 2nd, Mercury is going to sextile Saturn. December 3rd, Venus is going to square Pluto. And December 4th, we have the beautiful Venus entering Scorpio. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so now let's get into the current transits, even though that was, and screenshot that, rewind and screenshot that if you would like. Now I am showing the current chart. And I would say, can I link this in a podcast? There's too many charts to link, but I'll see if I can so you guys can look at it as well. Now, because I was excited to know that I can link anything. So we have the North Node and the South Node here. And then look what is conjunct that North Node. We have Venus. And then since it's conjunct this, then it's opposing that South Node, okay? 24 degrees. Now, 24 degrees is a Pisces degree. Pisces, I mentioned Neptune, but it represents sleeping, drugs, alcohol, the unconscious, our psyche, things that we cannot see, things beyond this world, aliens, even maybe sea creatures, emotional dejections, our feet, madness, shadows, unclear endings, secrets, because that is something you can't see. Now, okay, so with this, when we have the North Node is about being satisfied, and it's okay. So the North Node is our life now. I'm trying to explain it in simple words. It's our. I don't know why I'm stuttering. We'll get into Mercury in a minute. Okay, but the North Node is here to teach us the lessons that we need to know for personal growth and personal development in this current life. And right now it's in the sign Aries. So this is more the collective, but however, in your charts, look at your North Node, what sign is it in, what house placement is it in, and that is what you're supposed to learn through this lifetime. And it's what we value and what we want, being satisfied, and even like our gratitude in this current lifetime. Now, Venus in Libra is going to be opposite of the North Node in Aries. And Venus in Libra, Venus is the planet of love. And because it's in a sign of Libra, which Libra is at home there, it's about love, harmony, beauty, justice, aesthetics, law, open enemies, friendships, partnerships, socializing, what we naturally attract. Now, North Node, it's about the challenges and opportunities that we will encounter in this path of our personal and spiritual development, challenges into what we should focus on in our future. Okay, so the North Node in Aries represents our path of growth, because when you're dealing with Aries, you're dealing with a new beginning, evolution. Aries is about independence, so it's going to encourage us to be independent, self-discovery, assertiveness. Competition is always what I think when I think of Aries, being first and taking a bold initiative. Now, I have a whole video on this. I don't think a podcast, but a whole video on the North Node and the South Node entering these signs. And I also did horoscopes on that. So go ahead and look for that. There may be a need to, okay, what else do we have? You can create tensions. Hold on, let me see. Aries encourages bold initiative. So can create tensions between the desires for harmonious relationships because you have it opposing. Now, Venus is on the opposite side of the North Node. So wherever it is in your chart, and we'll look into that, it's going to have conflict. It can't see the other side because it's way over there on the opposite side. So there could be some issues with relationships because Venus is about the relationships and socializing and what we naturally attract. And it's arguing with our personal growth in life, our individual personal growth in life, and our assertiveness to our personal growth and development. So be aware of that. There may be a need to balance between pleasing others and pleasing the self. the true authentic self. Difficulties in finances could be a thing because as a collective, our destiny, of course, finances is a thing. However, this is an aspect that's not, permanent. It's not a year. It's not long lasting. However, I would think because that North Node in Aries, everyone being about the self and really learning how to take care of their self and have personal growth of the self. And Venus opposing that it's having issues with the relationships. It's very Libra and Aries are just complete opposite, right? They're polarizing signs, and every time you have a opposition, is always polarizing. But these two, to me, are just like the utmost in your face because you're talking about the individual versus the partnership. You're talking about I versus we, because Libra is going to look through the lens of another or mirror the behavior of another, where Aries is all about itself. So the North Node, what we're supposed to do in this in this year with this energy is all about the self. And Venus of socializing and love and charm is like, no, but what about relationships? So we could have some conflict with trying to balance that out, or having conflict for what's important versus like the self. Even aesthetics could be a thing. Money could be a thing. Because remember, all of that is dealing with Venus, if you didn't know. Beauty versus like what you truly feel you should be yourself. For example, do I want to wear this wig to please others? Or do I want to just be natural? Okay, so that's what we have now. Venus is going to conjunct at the same time, because Venus is conjunct that 24 degrees north node, south node. And when it's conjunct, that means the qualities are stronger. Okay. So, and South Node is about letting go, representing the qualities, experiences, and patterns that an individual has already mastered in his lifetime, are karmic inheritances, past experiences, and habits. Symbolize ingrained habits, behavioral patterns in our comfort zones. It's also things that we need to release and let go. So when you have Libra highlighted with that South Node, it makes me think, do you need to let go of a relationship? You need to let go of an old enemy, because that is a thing. Some contract that you haven't signed, because Libra could represent some contract, something dealing with law, something that's in balance, or could be very harmonious with law or fairness. Also codependent. That could be a thing. Okay. Connection to past relationships or past pattern in relationships, perhaps leaning towards codependency, trying to get external approval. And that's what I was talking about with that wig. If that is you, go ahead and leave a comment. But not just a wig, but just like trying to please other with your appearance. There may be a need to revisit or release old relationship dynamics that hinder your personal growth, because it's about the individual and your personal growth, not in a selfish way, but in a self-loving way. Okay. So now let's move on to December 1st. Good luck with everyone on that aspect. Now, and also too, that will probably really affect our Aries and Libras a lot more. So good luck to you. Now, December 1st, we have Mercury entering that beautiful Aquarius. And when it hits that 0 degrees, that means that, bam, welcome to the new. Now, I want to talk about Mercury and the retrograde. It's going to fully go retrograde December 12th. That's when it starts, but we're going to start feeling it November 30th. Like I said, I'm filming this November 27th. You could be feeling it already, okay? It ends January 1st. That's when it officially, air quote, ends, but you're really going to feel the residuals of it until the 20th, okay? Now, Mercury enters Capricorn at 6:31 a.m. And Mercury, the planet, first of all, is the closest to the sun, so we really feel it the most. That's why when Mercury retrogrades, even though other planets retrograde, but when Mercury retrogrades, we really feel it because it's so close to the sun. It's very fast. So we'll get into that in a minute. It represents the mind, intellect, communication, reasoning, the way we process information, how we express ourselves verbally, how we comprehend the world around us. Mercury is often associated with duality at the same time. So it's very mutable, and it wants to adapt to situations. It was the communicator from the underworld and the world. So it's here back and forth. I find Mercury, if you pay attention to Gemini season, because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, hence why we have the rainbow, because it wants it all and wants to do it all, and why we have the sexuality, such a big theme during the month of June. Versatility is very logical, day-to-day travel, messages, emails, texts, gossip, news, what we hear on the news. Remember, all of that is information, all of that is communication. Also dealing with siblings, our neighborhood, our community, the capacity for both analytical and communicative skills, because it is the ruler of Virgo and Gemini. Mercury is also linked to learning and education, even writing a book. Okay. So, yes, here we go. So now it's in the sign Capricorn. Let me explain what Capricorn is. Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac, which basically means it has a little maturity. Okay. It's not the beginning of the zodiacs, and it's Earth. So it's very grounded, practical, and concerned with material reality. It's a cardinal sign. So that means it initiates and takes charge and provides leadership and direction, which is so interesting because my mom just said that to me this morning. Not that long ago, told me that I was a leader and I give direction because I am a Cancer, hence the cardinal. So associated with discipline, structure, back to Capricorn, not me. Capricorn is associated with discipline, structure, responsibility, the passage of time, father time, father. It brings a sense of realism. It focuses on long-term goals, ambition and career, discipline. It's very conservative in its approach. It's very reserved, especially when it comes to expressing emotions. Optimism is with a caution, okay? Awareness of time always, and it's very important with timing, associated with traditional values. And it is the father figure, it is the boss. It is someone with uniforms, an elder of some sort, masculine energy, and there's rules, restriction. Now, Mercury in Capricorn, you're going to have practical communication, structured thinking, professionalism, because Capricorn is about the business and the jobs and being your reputation, okay, and your long-term goals. So you have professionalism and you have attention to details. You have long-term planning, reserve expression, which I said earlier, but now we're in Mercury. So communicating with reserve expression. Capricorn is not known for being overly emotional. So get ready when people are talking. Challenges in articulating feelings because it doesn't want to be overly emotional. Very business acumen, responsible communication, and then remember I said traditional values. So be aware of that coming up in several conversations. Appreciation for traditional forms of communication could also be a thing, like how the protocols are, what are the traditional norms. All of that could be a theme with Mercury. In Capricorn, structured learning style, Mercury and Capricorn individuals may prefer, not individuals, but the energy. We as a collective, individually, may prefer structured and organized educational settings. Collaborative communication may be a challenge because that Mercury in Capricorn may prefer working independently. Mercury in Capricorn may become over serious, pessimistic, critical in communication. Communication barriers with authority figures could be a thing because remember, we're dealing with father figures, bosses. Lack of flexibility could be a problem. I find that Capricorns are almost like Virgos. They want to stick to, it's almost like Capricorns are Virgos on steroids. Stick to the routine. Why are you changing it? Overemphasis on structure, fear of failure, fear because they want to be perfect. And that is a Virgo thing. But remember, this is the sign after Virgo in the Earth department. So it's almost like more intense. Reluctant to take risk, hindering creativity and innovation, and then rigid or inflexible thinking. So that is what we have with Mercury enters Capricorn. There's a lot of positive things. There's a lot of things of being serious and getting things done at the same time. Try not to be too rigid, okay? So all the people who are very whimsical, I want to say more Pisces energy, let's go with the flow, chill, you will probably need this to help balance you out. Hence why life is all about ups and downs and yes. Now, December 2nd, let's go there. And we have Mercury is in the sign Capricorn, and that is going to be sextile Saturn in 1 degree in the sign Pisces. And 1 degree is an Aries degree. So it's about taking action. It has a fighting spirit. It's not giving up on faith. There's struggle. There could be a sense of war. We're dealing with sextile though, so it's very positive, but can indicate labor, diligence, leadership, beginnings. And when you have this aspect, you have gifts of mental focus, because remember, Mercury is how we think, how we process things. And Saturn is what I discussed earlier, because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So mental focus, mental discipline, careful thought and speech, common sense, realism, because that earth energy, concise and exact use of words, detail, small, precise work, structured communication, strategic thinking, responsible decision making, grounded creativity, because Saturn is in Pisces, which is creative. So that's great. Long-term economic strategies. You can get that with the government or maybe with small businesses or businesses. Countries or the cities, your government could engage in structured or responsible negotiations. Infrastructure development can be happening because Saturn is about the infrastructure, maybe even an infrastructure that we can't see because it's Saturn in Pisces. Discussing thoughts and transactions, working well with restrictions, bosses that we, who are controlling us that we can't see. That could be a thing. Structured discussions on cautious spirituality or endings or death. But we're dealing with Aries, so it's something with the beginning, and maybe the beginning is the ending. Something in that. I know that probably some people, it's like, but some people that may hit it right dead on the box. Okay, on the box. On the head. Okay, so let's do December 3rd. And the reason why I was saying beginnings is because remember it's at 1 degree, which is Aries. So December 3rd, we have Venus, and Venus is going to be squaring Pluto. Dun, 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 right? And that is at 28 degrees. 28 degrees is a Cancer degree. And okay, so for you guys who are new to astrology, or maybe you're not new or just don't understand the degrees, let me put it in a perspective. I was just looking at the chart for San Francisco because I'm doing that on a podcast, which I haven't done yet, and why they were able to, if you didn't know in the news, they recently cleaned up the downtown area for some leaders, and it was in a Virgo degree. Nothing, when I looked at the chart, I immediately was like, I'm going to see something Virgo. And I was like, I see nothing Virgo. It's not in the Virgo house, because I looked at San Francisco's chart and I was confused. I'm like, there has to be something with Virgo. It cleaned up. It was cleaning up. And it was the degree. It was in a Virgo degree of cleaning up. So I hope that helped you understand and comprehend. There's going to be something Cancer about this aspect. And 28 degrees, it's about home, nurture, traditions, loyalty, faith, mother, water. What else can we deal with? The moon, your legacy, where you feel safe, security. Okay, that's all Cancer. Pluto could be brutal, ruthless behavior, driving obsessions, energy, the underworld side of the psyche, also volcanic feelings. And it's squaring. Well, first of all, let me tell you what Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto it started being in Capricorn in 2008, and it's going to go all the way to 2024. And when you have Pluto in Capricorn, there's transformation and structure, which we've been experiencing. Hello. Power dynamics and authority, economic change, political evolution, corporate and business evolution, environmental consciousness, long-term impacts. Right now, that beautiful planet, Pluto in Capricorn, is squaring Venus. And Venus, like I said earlier, is the planet of love and beauty. At the same time, it's about social tensions, shallowness, vanity, conceit, self-indulgedness, laziness. You could be craving a lot of sugar if you feel like you're not loved. Now, whenever a planet is squaring another planet, it symbolizes tension, challenges, obstacles in the interaction between the planets. Each planet may clash with the other, and they can't meet each other halfway. Tensions created by the square aspect motivates individuals and the collective to confront the issues. So there may be some adjustments that's made, and it could add a different aspect in life, because now you're like, okay, that was a problem and that needs to change. We're not doing that again. So for a lot of people, squares are very positive and they bring change. Squares can be classified based on the modality, and this square is on cardinal, and cardinal is, so that means that's going to be related to initiation and leadership. Remember that Cancer degree is a cardinal degree as well. So something with initiation and leadership is going to be clashing with the transformation of structures and with social tension, or maybe with aesthetics, or something that's supposed to bring harmony and balance. Tendency toward obsessive attraction, feelings of jealousy and possessiveness could be happening for you individually. Passive aggression, manipulation of power, and the love of power, manipulation of loving of power, overbearing sweetness or friendliness. Remember that sweetness, manipulative yin style, very feminine, but still like trying to seduce. Passive forms of aggression, a pushy or obnoxious aesthetic. Can you imagine? I mean, I love aesthetics. So to have it overly just done is like, oh my gosh, this is too much. Power and infatuation, urges to control one's friends or loved ones, intense projections, damaging one's friendship, harmful temptation, sexual addictions, throwaway relationships, urges to use sex, because Pluto is about sex, if you guys didn't know, beauty for ulterior purposes, read of destroying trying to destroy what one loves. I said read. I'm reading this, and there's a typo on my notes. Loving what is lost or dead, because Pluto also represents change and death. Okay, the shadow side of beauty, dangerous beauty, dangerous beauty. What could that look like? Like, I would think, what are, like people get those piercings that you can't see, and it's like within the skin. I saw someone hammering that on Rihanna. So that was interesting. The challenging side of being too beautiful, sense of betrayal. And then you also can have vulgar or coarse sexuality, a raunchy style or crude style, demonic energy, aggression, and just suffering. There's intense relationship things with this, because Pluto is associated with intensity, and issues of control and possessiveness could surface. Again, power struggles, transformation in values, because Venus is about what we value. Financial concerns. Venus is financial, Pluto is financial, Capricorn is financial. So issues related in shared resources, joint finances, investments within relationships, aesthetic transformation, and it could be something that's taboo and it just did not work out for you. Deep emotional exploration, social harmony versus individual transformation. Okay, so now let's go. I think that is kind of a big one. Okay. And because Scorpio, Pluto is huge, and when it's squaring Venus, let's just see what's going to happen. I always need to reflect on the next week and what had happened from the news with that. But let's go on. I will do that next week if I remember. I really want to, so I'm sure I'll remember. Now let's talk about Venus. December 4th, Venus is going to enter Scorpio at 10:50 a.m. And Venus, again, is the planet of love. It governs our aesthetics preference, artistic inclinations, appreciation for beauty, our personal values, and including those related to material possessions and finances. It influences how we prioritize and derive pleasure from our resources. Venus governs social skills, diplomacy, and the ability to create and maintain social connections. Moon represents our emotions. Yes. Meanwhile, Venus represents the expression of emotions in relationships. So like, I think I said that earlier about the moon, and no, I was talking about Aries, but yeah, so the moon is about our emotions, yet how do we see it through the eyes of a loved one, which could be seemed as emotional. Venus transits influence the collective mood in matters of love, relationships, and aesthetics. Now, Scorpio, that energy, which I did a video on everything Scorpio, it's about determination, intensity, not anything surface, secretive, and it's very mysterious, transformation, rejuvenation, power and control, magnetic presence, investigative and perspective, sexuality and intimacy is very determined. It's a fixed sign. It's also water, so there's a lot of spiritual element to it. It's also feminine. So Venus and Scorpio, very feminine energy, double feminine energy. Okay. Feminine means more internal. Feminine means receiving, not really giving. And when you have Venus in Scorpio, there's going to be passionate and intense relationships. Could be into attracting things that are very mysterious or taboo, something that could be dark, emotionally strong images. There could be attraction to beauty that's dealing with complexity, something that has emotional depth with it, not death, like dying, depth. I always sound like I'm saying dying, but deepness. There's a desire for emotional truth in relationships. Nothing superficial is happening here. Transformative connections is drawn to mysterious and the things that are hidden. A passionate pursuit for desires. And what else do we have? Determination to go, because it's very fixed and it's very determined. And not emotionally, but through our relationships, through our aesthetics. Also, Venus in Scorpio can represent surgery, because Scorpio represents surgery. So I wonder, like, if you're getting something done to your body to transform the way you look with aesthetic wise. Emotional healing through relationships. Scorpio is also associated with shared resources and finances. And then when you have that Venus, it could influence more strategic and transformative approach with investments, our shared resources, our assets. And Venus is what we naturally attract here. So you may be getting some moolah, okay? Because Scorpio is about what we own together. There may be a need to address issues of control, because Venus is not in this sign for one day. It's in it for a good minute. Let me actually look up the dates right now. So we're in this for December 4th to December 29th. Actually, let me look up how long Mercury is going to be. Oh, well, no, actually I won't, because I've already discussed that. I talked about the retrograde. Yes. Anyway, so on the 29th is when we will be saying bye to Venus in Scorpio and hello to Venus in Sagittarius. Anyway, but yes, I was talking about surgeries with Venus. Be aware of that, because there is major transformation. Also being attracted to transgender, because Scorpio energy is representing transgender. Jealousy and possessiveness could be a bad aspect. Emotional power struggle, secretiveness and withholding, intensity overload, desire for control, financial obsession, distrust, and being very suspicious in a Venus in relationship wise, because Scorpio is never just going to believe you. Because I don't trust you kind of energy. Struggle for emotional balance and over healing. And because Scorpio always wants to heal. So be aware of that. But at the same time, there could be some major healing happening. Now, next week, we have Neptune goes direct in Pisces. And the week after, December 13th, we have Mercury retrograding. So yes, that's what we have. Now let's get into our horoscopes. Feel free to check your sun, moon, and rising. I would suggest checking your rising first and then everything else next. However, my mom has the same rising. My mom's sun sign is the same rising sign as mine. So there is that. Now, let me do a reading for the collective. And for you guys who are watching, I am just setting up the banners for everything. But let me do a collective reading first. And a card already fell out. And we have the King of Swords. So there is a lot of intelligence. First of all, it could be a lot of socializing. Okay. And being very confident in socializing. But the words here and the intelligence far as communication is huge with that. Socializing, communicating, everything air. Art, maybe someone who is an air sign is really going to affect you with these placements. And Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. At the same time, a lot of things dealing with the future, a lot of things dealing with relationships and law and harmony, and a lot of things dealing with communication. Huge themes, and us being really good at it, not bad at it. Okay. And then we have the sun. Ooh, very positive. I feel like it's highlighting relationships, socializing, highlighting for the collective in a positive way, or maybe birthing something dealing with socializing and communicating and our intelligence. And then lastly, we have the 10 of Wands, and the 10 in numerology represents new beginnings and infinite possibilities, also representing the beginning of the end, the ending, starting something new. And here we have the 10 of Wands. So there's a lot of baggage, and you're carrying a heavy load. So there's this load that you're carrying. And I would say that the sun is going to highlight very positive communication or very social thing, but you're getting over a hump, and it's something dealing with your passion and your creativity, something dealing with your drive, and you're at the end of that. Okay. Sorry, I dropped a card. Okay, so let's start with our individual readings. That was us as a collective. We're getting over a hump. There's some type of heavy burden that's dealing with our passions, things that are our drive, our creativity, the external things that we have going on, and we're getting over that, and we're starting anew. Okay, so that's what we have. Now let's start with our Sagittarius. Since it's Sagittarius season, Mercury in the second house, it's all about Mercury and Capricorn is going to be in that second house, and it's about supporting strategic financial planning and a practical approach of managing resources. The individual communicates their values and priorities with clarity with this placement. Now, on a negative part, there may be a tendency to overemphasize material success, because that Capricorn energy is about, look at me, I did it, my reputation, potential neglecting other aspects of life, because it does want to pay attention more to the detail of that. Now, Venus is in the 12th house, and deep spiritual connections in that 12th house is very inward energy and focusing on spirituality, emotional connections, divine fostering, deep sense of inner peace. Now, there's an inner world happening here. So you could be very passionate and creative, a lot of transformative energy at home. Also, having the beauty and socializing within a home could be a thing. And because we're dealing with that Scorpio energy, it's very intuitive. So really being attracted to very intuitive spiritual energy. Now, be aware of hidden emotion issues. There may be challenges related to very things that are hidden because you can't see it. And also a lot of lack of thinking and lack when it comes to that Venus energy. Let me pull a card for you guys, Sagittarius. Ooh, we have the Page of Swords. A lot of air energy going on, because for the collective reading, we had Swords. And the Page of Swords is like a young Aquarius, a young Libra, young Gemini. Also is earth and air. So like really taking your time to communicate, really taking your time with words, really taking your time with socializing. Yes, or maybe beginning to socialize. And let me pull one more card. And we have the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is always like duality, are juggling two things at one time. It's not in a reverse, so it's not negative, but really trying to find a way to do two things at once for you guys. So be aware of that. And it makes me think, could it be the Mercury and Venus? Because the Mercury is all about the finances, and Venus is like, okay, let's do spirituality, which is not something tangible that you can touch. So really focusing on balancing the two, or balancing something in your life. And it needs to be communicated in a very slow, practical way. Okay. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Capricorns. Mercury is going to be in your first house, and Mercury is going to promote practical and organized communication style, right? Hold on one second here. Okay, I'm just looking at this. Okay, practical communicative style is what I see when I see Mercury in that first house. And Mercury is in that first house is like all about me, discussing me. Everyone look at me. It promotes practical and organized communicative style about the individual, and being very goal orientated mindset, but about you and your identity, maybe communicating in a practical way about your identity is going to happen with this placement. Remember, it's going to retrograde though. So all the lessons that you have with this is going to revisit with this. Challenging aspect is that you may be reserved in your communication. There's a risk of being overly reserved or cautious in communication. So you could be hindering that self expression. Now, Venus is going to be in the 11th house and very passionate social connections, very social. Makes me think, are you socializing in something with the themes of Scorpio energy? Things that are taboo, things that are very sexual, that's very dark, or also very mysterious, or maybe like a detective group or something like that, or maybe even thinking long term in a Scorpio aspect. So, yes, that's what you have. Transformative relationships also could be a thing. Friendships, because we're dealing with social, transformative things for the future could be happening. Hopes and dreams, very transformative. And intensity in social dynamics, the intensity of Scorpio may lead to intense social or power struggles. Be aware of that. Okay. So balancing personal desires and group of harmony is important. Do not be controlling. Okay. So we have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is all about relationships or being aligned with someone or having the same values with someone. The Cups represents love. Two represents that relationships and duality. Let me see what else we have. And we have the Page of Cups, which is earth and water. Makes me think of that Capricorn. We have like a lot of water here. I mean, not that Capricorn, that Scorpio, but also the Capricorn could be helping that Scorpio energy. I think the Scorpio energy is going to be big for you guys, Capricorns. Even though Mercury and Capricorn, you're probably more comfortable with that. But really taking the time to move slow in your emotions and use your intuition and socializing. Something about love here. I wonder if that group is going to bring some love. It's really going to transform the way you are. That's what I'm thinking. You're going to find some alignment with this Scorpio, Venus and Scorpio. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. That Venus and Scorpio is going to bring some practical things for you guys. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Now, Aquarius, Mercury is in your 12th house, and the 12th house is about solitude and things that are hidden, things that are ending, could be some ending of some sort. It's going to support structure and organized communication, maybe during some solitude or for some endings of some sort. Practical approach to spiritual pursuits could be happening. Reserve expression of the subconscious thought, because you could be expressing things and you might be reserved with the Mercury now and the Capricorn energy. Now, the 10th house is going to have your Venus in Scorpio. So that's all about the career, and maybe something transformative is going to happen socially right there. You're going to attract something that's going to be very transformative, like a boss or something to help you in your goals, long-term goals, or your reputation. Engaging in public persona, the individual public persona image may emotionally be engaging, fostering, connecting with others, because you are dealing with that control dynamics in the career. Be aware of that. Okay. And yes, Aquarius. And let me think, what else could I think of with Venus in that 10th house? I think it's attracting a lot of things far as career and your public image. A lot of things far as time could be a thing, because that 10th house does represent time or father figures or boss or something masculine. Okay. Sorry, a card fell, and we have the Seven of Swords. The Seven Swords, first let me show you, and then, okay, let me look at it on here. Seven of Swords, it looks like, I mean, he's going over a hill, and Seven of Swords usually means like stealing, sneaking, right? Cheating. Usually would I get this, but I feel like here that you're escaping something, you're going into a light. That's what I see when I see this card. Something dealing with your words, something dealing with, and then there's businesses all in the background if you can't see. So it seems like something with your word, communication, socializing is huge. And I'm really thinking as that Venus. Maybe this is the taboo Scorpio energy. It is very dark, crow. Makes me think of a Scorpio. So, and you're hidden. Look at that. You're like with a hood on. This card has a hood on it, and it makes me think that they're hidden. And the Venus in the career. Maybe you're going to be hiding. Actually, let me pull another card because I pulled a few cards for everybody else. Makes me think you're going to be hiding. And then we have the Lover. So really being in balance and aligned. Yeah, that's Venus. So it makes me think of that you are going to be hiding and you're going to be very mysterious with your pursuits in your career. That's what it makes me think of. Okay, that is what I have. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Pisces, welcome. Mercury is going to enter your 11th house, and 11th house is all about structured communication, promotion, goal orientated, social groups, and clear communication in friendships. It's all about socializing, networks, any type of clubs that you're in. Makes me think that you're going to be in like a sexual club or a detective club of some sort, or a group like that. Maybe transformative club is going to work, but it's communicating. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Capricorn. Mercury in Capricorn. I'm thinking Venus. My apologies. It is not Venus in Capricorn. It's Mercury in Capricorn. And that's about communicating in your goal orientated, communicating about your future, communicating about your hopes and dreams in a very practical way. And even networking could be a thing for you. Clear communication in friendships. That's what we have. Resistance to group settings, because Capricorn doesn't want to change. It's not that it's stubborn, it's just has the fear of perfection, like I said earlier. So be aware of that. Venus is in your 9th house, so very passionate pursuit of knowledge. And 9th house is very Sagittarius energy. And then you have that Scorpio. So it makes me think that you're going to research knowledge in psychology, mysticism, philosophy, and you're going to be attracted to that, or someone's going to be attracted to you. Maybe even travel. Transformative travel could be happening. And watch out for dogmatic beliefs. There may be challenges related to dogmatic beliefs or intensity in expressing personal opinions. Open-mindedness is very important with this placement. But yes, also very because I also think that the 9th house is very big. So Venus in Scorpio in the 9th house is like abundance and attractiveness and sexiness. Okay, so let's see how that goes for you guys. Let me pull a card for my Pisces. Ooh, we have the 6 of Swords. There's some type of transition happening. There's some emotions there because the water looks like it's got a high tide. However, there's a transition, there's a healing, there's moving on, some type of closure or something going to something else. And then also Swords is something socially, something with words, something with thought and logic. And we have the King of Wands in reverse. So it makes me think during this transition not to be a hothead, not to get into a lot of arguments. The King could be very passionate. And when it's in reverse, it's overly passionate. It's arguing. It's not creative. It's, also lacks the drive and the motivation. So you want to be motivated, but through this healing and this change. And change is hard for a lot of people. And then lastly, we have the 5 of Wands. There's going to be some competition happening, and you're going to have to fight your way through. But that's what life is about. We are not scared of life. Okay. So fight your way through. Keep climbing to the top. Do not give up with that lack of motivation. Okay. Pisces, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Aries. Now, Mercury is in your 10th house, and the 10th house is all about your career. So you're going to be focused on that, especially in that Capricorn. You're going to be focused on that. You may have clear, practical career goals and aspirations. Do not try to be overemphasis on your professional image, and also father time, masculine energy, all that is going to be discussed with that Capricorn. Now, Venus in the 8th house, you can have enhanced intuition and go off of what you're feeling. You're naturally going to be attracting something intuitively. Okay. Very spiritual connections, also shared resources you get with that. So you naturally might be attracting some resources that are going to be very transformative. Passionate intimacy is dealing with this. Sex. That's what I think of this. And joint things. Also, remember taxes. Like maybe you could be getting some taxes, or I wouldn't say old taxes. Could be fear of vulnerability. Could be a thing with this, because you have some things that are hidden, and you have to trust and have some building trust here with that Venus in there. Okay. Let me pull a card. Let me think what else we have. The taboo with Venus there. Venus in Scorpio is in the 8th house, and the 8th house is representing Scorpio. So you're going to feel everything Scorpio that I discussed earlier in the video. You're definitely going to feel that, okay? We have the King of Wands, and for the reading before, it was in reverse, but now it's in the upright. So there's a lot of passion, a lot of drive. I see a lot of passion, a lot of fireworks. 5 of Cups is looking at what you lost. So Venus in Scorpio could represent loss or some endings, and there's some emotions there. But you want to focus on, because if you look at this card, she has a huge cup sitting right next to her, and it's almost like she's pouring it out because she's kind of being negative, and you want to not really be in that emotionally. And remember that moon moves fast. So when that Venus hits that moon, you could have some emotions there, or if it's badly aspected with the moon, you could have some heavy emotions there, because this moon does go through the water. Water meaning Scorpio. So be aware of that, and be grateful. Practice gratitude is basically what I was saying from that. So practice gratitude. You have the King of Wands on your side. You're very motivated. So stay motivated when you are sad, and stay focused. Okay. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Taurus, Mercury is in the 9th house, and the 9th house is about in Capricorn. Promote structure and organized approach to education and philosophy discussions, worldly discussions, things that are bigger picture, practical approach to travel plans. That could be happening. I like that because it's practical. Which we all need. Beware of having overemphasis of tradition if it's poorly aspected. Like you don't want to be open to things because you want it to be too perfect. Now, Venus is going to be in your 7th house. Venus and Scorpio in that 7th house. Woo, 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 woo. So maybe some transformative partnerships, fostering deeper connections and emotional growth with your relationships. If you're not in a relationship, maybe being attracted to some very taboo, dark, beautiful aesthetics kind of thing, dealing with law, trying to not overpower or control anything with contracts. Power struggles in relationships could be a thing. You don't want to be controlled, have clear communication. Let me pull some cards for you guys, Taurus. We have an Ace of Pentacles. So God is giving you something to start with, like a new opportunity in career, a new opportunity in something with your health, a new opportunity with time. That's what we get. And resources. And then we have the Devil. So be aware of that Venus in Scorpio, the addictions, the taboos, the negative aspects, things that are not good for you. What else do we have? I think we all know what the Devil is. Here he is. He has it's like a negative guy, and he's like a puppet, and a person is like all in his head. Also represents Capricorn, with that Mercury is in Capricorn. So be aware of not having too many restrictions and not feeling free, because he does have the strings as if he's controlling him. So be aware of that. That's a major arcana, and it makes me think that God is giving you these things, but you're worried about society, or you feel restricted, even though God is giving you some new opportunities. So be aware of that, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Geminis, Mercury in Capricorn is going to be in your 8th house, and it supports strategic approach to shared resources, financial matters, being practical when it comes to intimacy or some type of transformation, and clear communication about intimacy could be happening with this. Try not to be too reserved with the communications and emotions. And Venus is going to be in that 6th house, so deep work in relationship, work, and maybe co-workers in relationship, or how you are with your pets and organization, and finding beauty in having some self-analyzing going on, beauty in getting into the darkest closet of your place or whatever, getting all those ugly spaces and getting them cleared out. Intensity at work, try not to work too much with this placement. Emotional wellness focus could be happening because there's a lot of transformative and physical health things could be going on with this. Let me pull some cards for you guys, Geminis. Oh, again, we have a transformation, the Six of Swords. There's some healing. There's some moving on, especially when it comes to words and communication. Ooh, Queen of Swords is very Gemini. So yeah, there's a lot of clear communication. And Queen is dealing with some water energy, and I see some water in its cards. And so it makes me think that you guys are nurturing your words. You're very nurturing with words, very compassionate with your words, using your intuition in words and communication with spirituality or your intuition, being very compassionate and logical at the same time. Very intelligent. This is the person who you want to send the email or read the book. Okay. That's what you have with that energy with the Queen of Swords, and there's some healing. So maybe like you're going to read a book about healing that really changes your life. So let me know how that goes with that Venus in Scorpio. It could be Mercury. Actually, it is Mercury. Mercury's in the 8th house. So there you go. Mercury in the 8th house is going to be big for you guys. So I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Cancers. Mercury is going to be in your 7th house. That's all about relationships, open contracts you could be signing, being very practical with that. Remember, Mercury is going to retrograde. So be aware of that, signing any contracts with that 7th house, shared income. What else? Open enemies, partnerships, aesthetics. Thinking about that in a practical way. There may be a risk of formality in relationships, potentially hindering emotional expression. The individual, you may excel in negotiation and communication in business or in personal relationships. Goal-oriented communication in partnerships, because we're dealing with that Capricorn. Now, Venus is in that 5th house. 5th house is all about fun. Okay. Also, fertility could be happening here, like giving birth. Venus and birth, I can see that happening for sure. So if you have anyone who's giving birth, this is something here. Venus and Scorpio in the 5th house enhances creative expression with passionate and intense flair. Deep romantic communications. Oh yes, romance, huge. Maybe even being romantic with someone who is very transformative in your life, or being romantic with someone who's very deep. And having fun and doing creative things that are just not on a surface level, like maybe doing like something creative that really has deep meaning. Now, try not to be too dramatic in the love affairs with this. And let me pull some cards for you guys. Cancers. We have, oh, and the tarot deck that I'm using is the Light Seers Tarot. We have the Star, and it's very positive. It's all about having faith, and really look, she's like looking up at the sky like, yes, I do believe. So having faith, having your hopes and dreams. This also could be dealing healing and spirituality. Let me see what else we have. And the Tower. Okay, so 2 major arcanas for you guys, Cancers. So there's something that you're going to depend on that's a false structure. You shouldn't be depending on that. You need to let go and let flow and go with God. So whatever it is, you need to release. Whatever it is, because the Scorpio energy is all about releasing and transformation. And you remember that you have to have faith, because that Star card is all about having faith and having your spirituality and being very positive with your hopes and dreams. Okay, regardless of the structure that you can no longer depend on, there's going to be something that's some chaos, some abruptness of endings. It's okay. Remember to keep the faith. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Leos. Mercury's going to be in your 6th house, and it supports efficient and organized communication at the workplace. The individual may adapt a practical approach to health-related communication and routines, also self-analyzing. Also, a lot of things could be dealing with pets and organizing with pets, being practical with pets. Try not to overthink any health matters with this placement. Venus in the 4th house. it's all about the home here, and emotional depth and family, and maybe something really not superficial with the home, really taking care of the home. Also, maybe decorating a deep, dark basement. Okay. Passionate home environment, decorating maybe with passion, or decorating with some intense aesthetics, makes me think like a Dita Von Teese kind of energy. Be careful of controlling dynamics at home, because Venus in Scorpio wants to control. Okay, so be aware of that as a challenging aspect. And let me pull some tarot for you guys. My Leos, we have the Emperor. So it's all about being a boss. Also represents Aries. So starting something makes me think of those North nodes that we discussed earlier. But Aries energy, starting something new, being an initiator, being a leader. Okay. Setting a structure, being a boss. We have the Four of Cups. So like being a boss in something that you're contemplating, being a boss and practicing gratitude because God is giving you something. So you want to be aware of what God is giving you and not being ungrateful. Okay. Being a boss, setting structures. Emperor 4 is structure and stability. Always makes me think of Capricorn. So there is some structure, there is some stability, there is you being the boss. And there is the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups makes me think you're contemplating on something. And you're not looking at what God is giving you. It's like you can't see it, maybe with that Neptune and Pisces. So be aware of that and tap into the intuitions with that Venus energy, okay? Or maybe there's an Aries energy that's going to come and control you, and you don't want to not be grateful because maybe that person's going to bring some structure into your life. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Virgos, let's talk about you. Mercury is in your 5th house, and remember it's in the sign Capricorn. So it's going to encourage strategic and organized approach to creativity, maybe fertility, okay, because that having fun and romance, clear communication in romantic relationships could be happening. Try not to have a controlling aspect, because you could be overemphasizing control, especially with that Leo house placement. And you don't want it to be spontaneous, because Capricorn is like, no, 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 no. It has to stick in the box of what we're doing. So be aware of that. And, Leo, fifth house energy wants to have fun. Capricorn is like, what are we doing having fun? We have to be serious. So be aware of not being too rigid in that energy. We have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords, it says to rest. Rest, 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 rest. Rest those words, rest the mind. And then we have the Five of Cups. So rest your words when it comes to negativity. Rest your words on things that you're not grateful of. Rest your words on the grief. If you've experienced grief or something, it's time to rest and not think about it. Maybe take a time out. Let me pull out one more card. And the grief doesn't mean that you lost, doesn't have to mean that you lost someone, but you're losing a thing, a job, a friend. And we have the Five of Swords. Both two fives, a lot of change, right? And Five of Swords is like you lost a battle when it comes to words. Swords is words and communication and thought. The way you're thinking, it looks like God wants you to relax and rest. Take some time out, okay? I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Libras, Mercury is in your 4th house, organizing that home with clear communication. Okay, organized communication within a home and home environment. You may be engaged in practical family planning discussions. It makes me think like Mercury and Capricorn is that you're at home discussing the Capricorn that you have at home, discussing a child's long-term goals could be happening. Reserve expressions of emotions. Beware of that, not being too cautious. And now Venus in the 2nd house is all about the money, right? So Scorpio is about money, and it's about the power of money, and it can enhance a financial intuition. So this can help you with any type of financial or values. Okay, passionate about values could be happening. Try not to be too obsessed with money. Okay, let me pull a card for you guys, Libras. Hold on. We have two cards that are stuck together. We have the Knight of Swords. It's very fast energy, running super fast, fast with words, fast in communication. So go ahead and communicate really fast. But let's see what we have here. We have the Nine of Wands, which is usually like standing guard in reverse. It makes me think that you have to move fast and not stand guard. Like, do not set a boundary in your words. Go ahead. You know, it's almost like because she's like at a gate and she's behind a gate and it's in reverse, so it makes me think like, no, run past that boundary. Okay, you know what I mean when it comes, run past that boundary. Also, this is someone who wants to keep fighting and you're like running away, so that could be happening as well. So don't run away, stay strong to your beliefs. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Scorpios, welcome. And Mercury is in your third house, and the third house is all about communication and siblings, maybe even numbers, your neighborhood. So maybe there is like a structured communication or organizing something with the future of your community or your siblings or your neighbors. Practical learning style could be very practical in learning because the third house is about learning and educating or writing. Challenging aspects is that you can have some rigid thinking. So be aware of that, resisting some new ideas. Now, Venus is in that first house. So there's intense charm, very positive. I love when Venus is in that first house because it's the individual. So deep love of self is what you can get. Also, like sexually loving yourself and the taboo part are the dark part of yourself, loving that. Overwhelming presence, you can be very intense with this energy, so be aware of that. And what else do we have with that Venus? Maybe like the secrets of the self is a thing. We have the Queen of Wands. So this is being very passionate, okay? Very motivative. You're motivating others. And also, just very passionate, very let me think. I'm thinking it's like someone who is an innovator too, because they give birth to things and very creative, very life of the party, very external energy. No fear is what we get. And the Eight of Cups. Now, this always makes me think of Scorpio. So walking away from what no longer serves you. Let me pull up one more card. And the Moon. So walking away from what no longer serves you. So it looks like this is what I'm getting from this, that you've always been the light. You've always been the sunshine. And I know you're Scorpio, but you've always been a person to motivate and have passion and compassion for others while motivating them and having the drive. But it looks like you need to walk away from that and focus on the inner. Focus on the dark stuff of yourself. That Venus and Scorpio is always the opposite. Venus, Venus is feminine energy, but it looks like you've always been out in the sun. Now you need to walk away from that and emotionally tap inwardly into the dark, deep space, that fear space, and really hone into that. Okay, I hope that made sense. The Moon represents the hidden and the darkness, so leave the light for a minute, not too long. You want to have balance in everything in life and really focus on the inner and the psyche and your dreams and your intuition, that very feminine energy, the internal energy. Okay, I hope that resonated with you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you watched the whole video, please, again, I always say, put a heart down there, but we're going to pick a black heart. Okay, if there's a black heart emoji, go ahead. If there isn't, I'm sure there is, but if there isn't, go ahead purple. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for listening and watching, and until then,